Are there any musicians in this room? String teachers?
Yes. Yes.
Fabulous. In that case, you will probably be able to relate that I've spent 20 years perfecting my instrumental techniques so I can finally become perfectly replaceable. 2005, I stood backstage in Tokyo, violin in hand. When you are a violinist, every performance can be like an audition. You have to prove your worth among thousands of other technically flawless players. A reflection of myself in the mirror, right before you walk on stage, have shown what everyone has seen. Just another violinist without anything special to say. But you know this is not true. You know that you have something very special to express. This is why you became a musician. Here's the truth. Technical perfection, prestigious instruments, phenomenal CVs, all that became just the price of the entrance ticket, not an invitation to the table. And it was in this moment I had to face the question I have avoided for so long. Will I remain the option number 97 on the list of options, always hanging around, but never invited to sit? And indeed, that was my last performance. They found a replacement. I don't know if the replacement was 2% better than I was, but surely the replacement never asked any questions. This is when I turned to the violoncello da Spalla, the instrument I've made earlier that year. Not just an instrument, a forgotten opportunity. And musicians around, they just laughed. Who needs that? And indeed, I didn't expect. The results have exceeded any expectations. All of a sudden, the journalist who would not come to my performances as a violinist and would never return my call started scheduling interviews with me to share my story with their readers. I got featured on major news, major industry magazines such as Sarasate, The String, The Strat, radio, television, and in less than a year I was performing at major venues such as Tokyo Opera City as violoncello da Spalla soloist. Festival organizers from Asia, from Europe, from Latin America started inviting me to perform as violoncello da Spalla player. Chamber ensembles offered me featured positions as a violoncello da Spalla soloist. So what happened? My technique didn't become better. Music was the same. But one of the audience members, a lady, approached and she said, no other musician says that story. And many people see themselves as the heroes in that story. And if this was just my case, I would not be even talking today to you. While other musicians kept mocking, I have been building these instruments for musicians from all around the world, and many of them experienced the same transformation. One of my clients, Hague, said, my God, this instrument is like coming home. Just like this instrument is a true, confident companion to yourself. And as a result of this life experience, I have discovered a paradox. Technical mastery can actually be a trap. The better you do what countless others are doing so well, the less anyone seems to notice you. Trying to be 5% better than others is very hard to achieve because the level is very high. And even then, it is rarely meaningful. It rarely matters, whereas being meaningfully different always does. I've discovered that sound is not just what you hear, sound is what you become. So before you spend another hour practicing your instruments, perfecting your techniques, ask yourself a very simple question. What would make me impossible to replace? This is not about instrument. It's not about violoncello da Spalla. It's not about techniques, how to play violoncello da Spalla. This is about hopefully helping you to find that thing that will make you remarkable. And the good news is that in the course of the past 20 years, the roadmap has been quite designed. And here it is, the sound alchemy. 4 petals with you in the center. Today, we do not have the time to cover all 5 parts. We will focus just on you, which stands for universality. What do I mean by universality? By universality, I mean that you, as cello, violin, viola players, already have 90% or more of the technique you will ever need to play the violoncello da Spalla. And in a moment, we will dive into the nitty-gritty of today's workshop, so you can actually all try this technique with the violoncello da Spalla here. I will also show you how you can try this technique at home using your violins or viola, so you can get really familiar. And if you find that it is your thing, be ready for stage in a matter of days, maybe weeks, but definitely not months or years or never. However, before we begin, I would like to invite on stage a very dear friend of mine, Arne. Thank you, Arne. So I invited Arne to play with me. And why I invited Arno is because, firstly, it was very hard to find another Spalla player in the Netherlands. Probably there is none. And secondly, Arno is an author, is a speaker in demand. He's not a musician. He's an amateur musician, but he's not a professional musician. And I believe that is what makes him the ideal person to come here and to illustrate the point, just how much you can achieve after just 20 minutes of focused practice on all those things that we are going to actually cover today.
Yeah. And Dmitry doesn't tell you that I've only had my Spalla for like 3 months. So
I also forgot to mention that Arno actually crafted his Spalla.
What instrument did you play?
So I play violin and viola, but violin primarily. Yeah. And I've been an amateur musician for ages. So when I moved to the Netherlands in 2009, I found a wonderful teacher, and I was with her for 10 years, and then she retired. So I was very sad about that. But you know, your musical teacher is becomes like a musical mom. So I was very sad when she retired. But yeah, I played violin, and then many years ago I wanted a better violin, and so I found Dmitry offering violin making lessons. And so I thought, well, isn't that the perfect thing for an amateur violinist to make his own instrument? And that was 12 years ago. And so when I met Dmitry, he was making a Spalla. And I made a violin, and then I made another violin, and then I made a viola. And then he's like, why don't you make a Spalla? And I was like, Spalla? Me? You right? Yeah, here I am. Now I've got a Spalla. an airport in New York, and I was standing around the gate waiting for the aeroplane like you normally do. And I saw this little kid with a Rubik's Cube. And he was like 10, 11. Done. And then he does it again. I'm like, this little kid is showing off. And the thought that went through my head is, if that kid can do it, then surely I can do it. And of course, I bought a Rubik's Cube, and it was much harder than I thought. But indeed, with a bit of persistence and practice, I finally got it. So hopefully that story is, gives you a sense maybe of what you're experiencing now. It's like, if I can do it, then surely you all could too.
Thank you, Arno.
Thank you
Thank you so much. Yes. So there are 4 parts to cover in today's workshop. Every part begins with the letter B, and this is what I call the Spalla tetrad. 4 parts to reveal the technique of violoncello Spalla, to connect it with your existing technique as a violinist, violist, or cellist. Yeah? So the first part is belt. What do I mean by belt? The belt is, of course, the way you attach the instrument. And I want to begin with the instrument in my hands to show you, and I will invite you on stage to try this for yourself, to show you what is really important about the belt. There are 3 things important about the belt. I've discovered in the past 20 years that majority of players, when they just grab the violoncello da Spalla for the first time, including myself, get this wrong. And it took me so long to figure out just how to attach the instrument. It's not so obvious, apparently. So one thing that is crucially important is the length of the belt. If it is too long or it is too short, the instrument is going to be either too low or too high. So the length of the belt has to be exact. It is a little bit like the height of the violin chin rest or the shoulder rest. Get those things wrong, and well, you can still play, but it will feel maybe less comfortable. So the length of the belt is vitally important. In a moment, I will let you try this so you feel, okay, that is comfortable. And the rest, all the rest is maybe not as comfortable. So the length is really important. Number 2, the way you attach the belt. It took several years for me to discover that the best way to to attach the belt is not around the neck, but around the back. That way, the instrument is not hanging on your neck. It is very much more comfortable, very much healthier as well. It took maybe 2 or 3 years for me to discover how to hold the instrument in the best possible way. I actually even recorded all 6 cello suites for Violoncello da Spalla by Bach, holding the instrument around my neck. It is still doable, but you do feel, after a couple of hours of practicing or playing, you do feel that you've been holding the instrument on your neck. It's not very healthy. Whereas like this, it is entirely, like your neck is completely free. It's totally free. Yeah, so this is number 2, the way to attach the belt. Now, some people, including my wife, find it more comfortable to hold the instrument with the belt going around the arm. Maybe this is a more appropriate way for smaller people. So my wife is not particularly tall. For her, it is easier to hold the instrument this way. For majority of other players, it is more comfortable to hold it this way. And number 3, the material from which you make the belt. So I discovered that leather is actually the most suitable material. It doesn't mean it has to be natural leather. Any leather will do. But what I mean is it shouldn't be a canvas or something too soft. It is a little bit like violin shoulder pad. If it is too soft or too hard, it doesn't really work. So it is the same. So the belt, if it is sturdy, it's really good. If it's too soft, too spongy, then it's not. So who would like to come on stage and try this. Any volunteers here? Yes, please. What is your name?
Nice to meet you, Vasily.
Vasily. Nice to meet you. Welcome on stage. Please welcome on stage Vasily. So, I try, and I don't know, may I use your Spalla? Vasily, what instrument do you play?
Violin.
Violin,
Sometimes,
okay.
Yeah.
So let's do it this way. First, try to hold the instrument upside down. This is not how normally we handle violins. We normally never hold a violin or viola like this.
Normally like
Yeah, that's yeah. But with violoncello da Spalla, this is maybe more easy to get into that belt. Yep.
this way.
Yep. This way. So first, this has to be under the tailpiece. The belt is attached under the tailpiece. It goes under the fingerboard. Yeah, the belt goes under the fingerboard here, and there it goes under the tailpiece. Yeah, so just like that. Now, yes, let's try to do it. And then just try to put, I think the other arm. Yes? Yeah. Yeah, I will stand on this side.
Yes,
See, like that.
yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And then put it around.
Okay.
Done. Yeah. If the belt is too short, we will adjust it, but it looks good. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So now you have the belt going under your arm. Good. Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's perfect. Yep. That's
right?
that's right. That's perfect. Yeah.
Oops.
Oh.
It's short.
So,
it's too short for it? No.
The belt has escaped from under the tailpiece. Excuse me, the fingerboard. Sorry. Let's try it again.
Yeah. It's short a bit. No?
Maybe it's a little bit short for you, indeed. Let's try again.
Okay. I do once.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
That's it.
Where is my bow?
Yes. we will get there in a moment. Yeah, we will get there in a moment. So, how does that feel, Vasily? If the instrument is pressing against your neck too hard, then the belt is too short.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't try to hold it the violin way, so hold it against your right shoulder. So it has to be against your right shoulder. It's here.
Okay.
Yeah?
Can I ask a quick question? Do you expect some support from the chest when you hold the instrument? Like, do you hold it?
Not at all. Not at all. We will come to this in a moment. Yeah, we will come to this in a moment. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. I think this is about the right length of the belt. And how do you feel?
I'm sorry?
How do you feel? Comfortable?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
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 It's like my baby,
It's like your baby.
my
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah. In the moment you will play
Or-
it,
or son.
you will, in the moment you will play it, you will see how it really feels. Yeah. So, anyone else would like to try this? Yeah. Yeah, please. Okay, raise your hands who wants to try it. Okay? Okay, please come on stage. Please come on stage. I have enough instruments for everybody. Yep. Try to. Yes. That's not yet right. So yes, let's get it out, and then let's do it one more time again together. So look. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you stand here so you can see a mirror. Yeah. Hold it like this.
Yes?
Yep. Well, I put it under the tailpiece already, from that direction. Yes. And Vasily is ready to play. Like, just book a venue, announce already that you're going to play, and you will be ready in no time. Seriously. Friends, this is very important. Yes. So now we are going to transition from the belt. We are going to transition to the next, which is the body, from unnatural to easy. Yeah. So what is the posture actually with violoncello da Spalla? that is the posture with the violoncello da Spalla, literally. Here's the thing I observed with lots of musicians who have never even seen the instrument before. They see it on a video or a photograph and they think, oh, that is huge. That must be heavy. That must be uncomfortable. And it is understandable. So if you imagine playing a very large viola, of course, it is very much more tiring than to play a smaller viola. Holding viola is more tiring than holding a tiny violin, of course. So there is a reason to think that a huge instrument like this must be very heavy and must be uncomfortable. But the opposite is true. Actually, exactly the opposite is true. So what do we have here? We have a Spalla posture. Now Elizabeth and Christian. Now they feel probably strange. It's like the instruments are small, yeah? Because when you play violin or viola, your hands are farther from the body. Now this is not a violoncello da Spalla, so it feels like contracted. It feels awkward. So actually, the bigger the instrument, and in a moment you will try the real Spalla, the bigger the instrument, the more natural your posture becomes, because you're not contracting, but you're holding your hands in the most natural position. And when you play the da Spalla, you do not twist or contort your body in any manner. You do not bring your hands off the center. Actually, your hands are in the most natural, relaxed position. This is literally the Spalla posture. So the only thing that you need is to turn the hand with the bow. That's all. It's a little bit like almost a dancing posture. Yeah, yeah, you feel that. Yeah, and we are going to cover that as well, because this is the next B. Yeah, we're going to speak about this. So, how does that feel?
Very comfortable.
Comfortable.
And free. Yeah.
Free. Yeah. Your hands, your body is totally free with violoncello da Spalla. It's something that I've never experienced in decades of playing violin, or I played the viola not much, but I did. Why? Because you do not support the weight of the instrument, neither with your neck. You don't hold. There is no chin rest. There is nothing. The neck is totally free. And your hands are totally free because the instrument is simply hanging on the belt, so there is no weight of the instrument to support. Yes, please?
Thank you. But when we play violin, we play with a weight of hand and weight of bow.
Yeah.
And now we play with pressing.
Perfect observation. This is exactly what we are going to cover in the next B. One more thing to cover, which is vitally important. And it is become. This is the last B in the Spalla tetrad, and this last B stands for become. Now, what do I mean by become? I want to share with you a story, but I want to begin by asking you a question. What makes perfect performance remarkable? It turns out it's not what many string players think. In 1980, imagine you are in Kabardino-Balkaria, Nalchik, the country where I grew up. Imagine a very small room. Right behind my back, you see a window. And outside of the window, endless fruit tree garden. White, pink, all in blossom. And this garden extends all the way to the ancient forest and alpine pastures and magnificent glaciers of the Great Caucasus. Wow, what a view. No sign of civilization. To your right, another window, blue pines outside, the kind of blue that exists only in Kabardino-Balkaria. Literally blue pines. A bed, a table, a music stand, a wardrobe. And there he is, my violin teacher, with a beautiful violin in his hand. Imagine a gentleman in his early 40s, black, curly hair, short black beard. No, Dima. That's how you make good sounds. See, this is how you move the bow. And you see me, 11 years of age. And I try to play, and I try again, and I try again, and I just put my violin down. And I tell him, Semyon Grigorievich, it doesn't matter how hard I try. I will never sound like you. Just look at your violin and look at mine. Why don't we fix my violin first? Next day, he takes me to the instrument maker, just a walking distance on the same street. And there he is. A gentleman in his early 60s, bald, silver gray hair, quite a few hairs growing on top of his nose, enormously thick eyeglasses, magnifying his pupils, making him look like a wise owl. I don't know what happened with me. Was I under spell? Have I lost my mind? Have I forgotten why I came there? But instead of telling him, Vladimir Grigorievich, would you please fix my violin, I said something that defined the rest of my life. Would you please take me as an apprentice? And so it began. So the workshop, just a walking distance from where I lived, down absolutely straight avenue. On one end, it goes all the way to the mountains, glaciers, beautiful, no signs of civilization. On the other end, it goes all the way downtown to the central station, and he lived just like 3 minutes walk. Imagine a small workshop on the second floor filled with musical instruments I've never seen in my life. Horsehead fiddles, 2 strings, 3 strings, got ornaments, every ornament telling a story of its own. Vladimir Grigorievich, but why not violins? Yes, Dmitry, I could easily be a violin maker, but I thought, why not do something more meaningful? Why not give voice to a whole nation that has been silenced for too long? Fast forward, 1984. He has crafted 150 instruments that he resurrected from complete oblivion. And imagine a stadium, it still exists in my city, 13,800 people listening to the orchestra of their folkloric music for the first time after more than a century. The outcome was palpable. That atmosphere of Renaissance, pride, love. People smiled, people cried, and I stood there, a boy of 15, watching this orchestra, watching people and my master. And I thought, my God, this is a new theory. This I want to create. Fast forward 40 years. When I was crafting my first violoncello da Spalla in 2004, I thought I was making just a musical instrument. And musicians still kept mocking on. But I've discovered that actually I was continuing my master's work, bringing back to life those voices that we've lost. Composers who wrote for this instrument. Musicians, string players, who were somehow led into believing that they were somehow not good enough. And all these people in your audience who somehow have learned to shrink to the limited imaginations of other people and never dare to create. You have discovered that what makes perfect performance truly remarkable is not perfect technique, not prestigious instruments, not phenomenal CV, it's purpose. Maybe Vladimir was the last luthier who understood this. Maybe you are the last musicians who understand this. I've discovered one interesting thing. Without purpose, music can be an exorbitantly expensive entertainment. Those who fund it might just find it wiser to cut. But with purpose, you stop focusing on technical minutiae and you start focusing on the bigger picture. With purpose, you stop competing for scraps in a shrinking industry. And you begin creating music that people truly need and want and truly connect with. And this is what the sound alchemist's quadrifoil symbolizes. And I want to leave you with a gift of quadrifoil. So if this little workshop resonated with you in some way, maybe inspired, maybe even transformed in some way, then we are very welcome to join Sound Alchemists. Wear this, share it, be proud to be that kind of musician, and go ahead and inspire your students and your audiences. Thank you.
Thank you.